5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3, and 10. Check results. You remember?
Hello, compadres. You can tell I really just started to what's the word? Adopt the personality of stuff I start to watch. Literally, watched a few Theo Von pods, and now I can't stop just being like, "Hello, Bobby Lee, Bobby Lee." I think, Vietnamese people, Asians, Bobby Lee. Yeah. Part of the day. Keeps the doctor away. And we're up to what, 63 now? Oh, that's crazy. You can hear the decibels, the decibels loud today. We're at a louder pitch. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But just a bit louder today. That kind of mood, that kind of vibe. Not much going on news-ish. Like, I've tried following more news-related things just to see if I get sent more shit. And honestly, it's just like bullshit. Like, oh, this person's injected this much stuff in their face trying to like this celebrity, and they never look. And obviously, of course, they never look anything like that celebrity. It's like, oh, this woman's spent 60 grand on face surgery trying to look like, Will Smith or some shit. And it's just like, okay, it's just, yeah, I got my AI section. Last time it was give me 2 scenarios for my potential future. Just tell me, I have to pick one of these to live out as a future, and the AI wrote out 2 potential future scenarios that I would have to then pick one to live from. Very detailed they were. Told me ups and downs, health concerns. One was like a traveler, one was like a sort of very boring, settled life, but happy enough. But then I got not complacent. I got sort of irritable in my job. I realized it wasn't fulfilling. I got into art. I know it was a whole thing. I can't remember. I think I chose the travelers one at the time. Today I asked it. I said, "Can you please give me 3 fake but realistic sounding facts?" Maybe next time I won't put realistic in front of it. Because I feel like these are almost too boring. But 3 fake but realistic sounding facts and 1 real fake. God, I wrote this like a 4-year-old. I don't know how the AI understood this. Basically, 4 facts, 3 of them being fake, 1 of them being real. And I'm going to try and guess. Am I smarter than a piece of machinery? Of course not, but let's see if I can at least be as smart. It said, sure, here are your 4 statements. Number 1, play along if you want. These are the 4 statements we've got to pick from. First one being, there is a species of tree in Australia that has a natural bright blue colour and is used for producing blue dye. Only one of these is real. I need to remember that. Okay, only one of these is real. And I know blue exists almost nowhere in nature. Keywords being almost. That's what makes this a fact, a cool fact. Because it's like Australia, a bright blue coloured tree. Like, in terms of the leaves, that just already sounds fake to me. I can't even envisage that in my mind, which shows how small my mental capacity is. I can't envisage a blue tree. I can't envisage a blue tree existing. The largest library in the world is located in Shanghai and has over 40 million books. I remember I was watching a video. Guy goes to North Korea. Yep, I said that right. The North one, the one that you don't want to get stuck in. He goes there, and he's like, they're always chatting whilst they're like, oh yes, Kimmy, our leader. He's like sick at. He's got the 100-meter sprint record. Obviously, captain North Korea to their first of many World Cup wins. They just spew out nonsense to them, and they just believe it because they've got nothing else to believe. And then when you go there, they take you on a tour because you can't just wander about. You got to go to specific places, and they go to this library that apparently is like the biggest in the world and has over whatever many million books. And you go in there, and it kind of just is like, it looks like Woolworths. It's sort of like, yeah, there's books there and on the shelves and that. There's other things. There's people just doing work, and it's just like, there's probably not that many books here, is there? So why did I bring that up? Well, judging by them, they always have the most in the world. Shanghai, I can't visualize 40 million books. I don't even know if that's a lot. You could tell me there's 40 million at my local, and I'd probably believe you. So Sure. The shortest commercial flight in the world lasts only 90 seconds and travels a distance of 2.7 kilometers. Kilometers. I don't know how to say that word. I work in miles. I'm a miles guy, which is weird because I think if you work in miles, you're meant to also work in like kilograms. It's like miles and kilograms, and then kilometers and pounds and stone, I think, but I don't. I'm not metric. What it's metric system and the other one, metric and the other one. I just take one from each. Always done it with miles. Always thought in miles or whatever. I can visualize a mile better. I know how kind of long that is. Never kms. But then I've always taken stone and pounds as weight. Always thought about it in terms of weight like that. Never thought about it in kg. Anyway, again, another tangent. That's the freaking dog. Okay. Dog. Yeah, I'm here. Oh, I tried to open it with my foot and I couldn't. Now I'm going to try and open it with my butt. And that's not really working either. Oh, it did. My pocket latched on. Get in. In. Walk in. You're killing it. Such a bane. Okay. And we survived. Nothing's unplugged and we're all good. Final one. The oldest cat on record lived. I like that because it's nice to think. There probably was and is just stray cats out there living to like 95. We don't know about. But this one that we've recorded lived to be 38 years old. Now, I know I talked recently about that dog called Bobby. I think his name was Bobby Lee. His name was like Bobby. I think United have just scored. Who scored though? It's over there. Leave it. United playing Barcelona right now. Sort of a big game. That makes it 3-3 on aggregate. I reckon it was probably Rashford. He seems to be the guy who can't stop scoring. I'm watching like break from this a minute. Mark Goldbridge. He's sort of I can see him reacting to it right now. I'm actively not watching. I'm doing this. But yeah, if you don't know him, he's a meme of a man. He watches United games. Very funny. And I just enjoy it. It's not even a guilty pleasure. I just like it. And I'm not a United fan. Anyway, he's celebrating like a madman. So I believe they've probably scored. I can't see who though. I have to wait for the stats to pop up. Interested in that. Got a cheeky little bet on, so I'm hoping it's Rashford. Yeah, oldest cat Bobby. And no, dog was called Bobby, and he lived out in Portugal. And he was eating what was it? Like, I don't know. He was eating like comical food, like how Garfield eats lasagna. It was that level. He was out there eating like dumplings. I think it was dumplings. So he's on a human diet and he's doing great. I don't think he was 38. I don't think he was 40. I think he was about 35, 36. So pretty close to this cat, but I don't know. Do I think cats would live longer than dogs? Now they've got a lot more going on. They travel, they're out and about, they're more curious. Curiosity, as you know, kills the cat. The dexterity, they've got to be jumping up and down things. I remember my cat, the first one I had before it died. Once they get old, it's awful because like when humans get old, it's like we don't attempt to do the things we did in our youth. Like you don't see a 90-year-old attempting to like hop over fences and shit, which maybe they would have done as a 14-year-old. They won't like attempt to like sprint down the road for the bus. They accept they're an old man and will wait for the next one and just keep walking, or they'll use the gate. They won't just hop over the fence, right? Whereas cats aren't like that. They're like stubborn. They're like, no, I've done this and I've always done this. So like the cat would be like, back legs barely work. Yeah, you'd see it like trying to jump up on like radiators and shit and trying to jump down, just completely like legs buckle underneath it. You can't do it, but it tries to. It's that type of thing. So like you could. With all that being said, though, I still kind of do still see a world more where a cat would live longer. I don't know, something about them. I just feel like they can. I feel like a dog. They've got so much life in them until they don't. Like I feel like a dog. They have energy, and they're kind of more accepting. They're like, I'm with my owner. I can't do what I once did, and they kind of just let go of it and they die. I feel like a cat will cling on to life for all it can. It'll grab every last morsel out of it, and by that I don't mean it's gonna like live it to the fullest. I mean it could basically be like, a glorified like fuzzy hat that breathes, like it's just in the corner, just sort of like a wrapped up scarf in the corner of the floor, like it's barely eating or drinking or doing anything at all, but it's just sort of, and that would count as it living. I could see cats going on. I'm surprised they only live. I'm surprised 38 is the max. I could see those fucks living on to like 90 shit or something. Anyway, these all could. Honestly, I shouldn't have put realistic sounding facts because these are all fucking boring. These could all be real. Only one of them's real. I'm surprised 3 of them are fake. I've had an absolute mare of a time. Okay, it won't even tell me which one's right because I literally asked. I put in this question like not recently, and it's clearly disconnected since then. And then when I went to go click back onto the software I'm using, I clicked stop record, and I've got to start everything up again and sync everything back up again. It's just going to be a slight bit more of a ball ache now, and it's just put me out of the mood. Something I did see though in the meantime, I was switching between. So basically, that was all waste of time for nothing. I don't know which one's real. I guessed that the book one is probably real. Is 40 million? Is that a lot? I don't even. It's probably a lot. Or the flight one is real. I don't know. I just don't think that if the tree one's real, then sure. Anyway. Because it says they get blue dye from that tree. Well, that one tree in Australia is where we get blue dye. Nah, don't buy it. I saw Stephen Yeun. Is that how you say his last name? Yeun? An actor I really like, even though I've not seen him in anything yet. Obviously, I don't know how to say his name. That was a bit of a giveaway. But he's been in stuff I want to see. And I like clips I see of him in stuff. The thing, maybe most other stuff, is probably Nope. I still haven't checked that out. I need to check that out. He's just been announced for being in Marvel's The Thunderbolts. I don't know what the hell The Thunderbolts is. Googled that real quickly as well. It's apparently just like The Boys, sort of, but for Marvel. They're the anti-hero group. They're the bad boys, but they're not the good guys, really. But they just swear maybe occasionally, or scratch their balls, or whatever. He's going to announce to be in that, and it's just like, I don't know. At first, you're sort of excited. You're like, okay, this is cool. This guy does good stuff. But then you see what Marvel have done to people who have done good stuff, and they kind of just... I used to think, oh, they're bringing in a good person. They're going to have to raise their level to match that person. But they don't. They drag them down to the depths of Marvel and to that level. And, we've seen it. And not always, but in recent times, you look at... one of the best actors of our current generation, and Christian Bale, and he appeared in, Thor: Love and Thunder, which is easily one of the worst Marvel movies ever made. In terms of like on the other side of the camera, Chloe Zhao goes straight away from directing Best Picture Nomadland to directing Eternals, which was described as one of the blandest Marvel movies ever made and just boring. I know the 2 different genres she's had to jump through here. But again, it kind of just feels like certain constraints maybe led her to that point. I know Fred scored. If it wasn't going to be Rashford, sure, okay, it can't always be Rashford. But like, it had to be... The fact that Fred is the one who scored, it just pisses me off. I hate that. Anyway, who else? So they just brought down to, Jonathan Majors. I haven't even seen that man yet, and I felt this from the second he first wasn't like announced in the franchise. Everyone's been really excited about Kang. It's just like I don't really care about Kang, and I just think Ant-Man looks not good. And he's a guy he's in Magazine Dreams, this film that could be pretty well received this year. It was at Sundance. Everyone's talking about. He was in like The Last Black Man in San Francisco. He's been in a bunch of stuff. More stuff than I'm remembering right now. He's going to be in, Creed, obviously, 3, as the villain kind of guy. And, I just don't care about it. And now they got this guy, Stephen Yeun. And, I don't know. I'm just hyped and scared. I'd like to see the cast of people around him. Also, who's directing that film? That's a big thing. Get a good director, man, and give them, you know, let them actually do their stuff. You know, don't, because I feel like even sometimes when they do let them do their stuff, they bring in a good director, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna let you do your thing, but you've got to hit these certain criteria. You've got to have this line where you mention the Avengers here and Iron Man here. You've got to have this thing here where they wear these suits for this reason here because we need to sell this here. You need to have these things here so we can do this here and sell this there. And it's just like, oh my god, just let them make the film, man. Let them make the film. Like, we know it's all connected. Like, I don't need to watch a film where they go, what would the Iron Man do if he was here, though? You know what I mean? With like, you don't have to. I know. Yeah, I know. You guys know. I get it. It's connect. Sure. We're into the full phase of this now. You know, it's not. It's. I don't wet myself every time I hear you say another character's name who's not in this movie. But yeah, I low key kind of want to see the rest of this game. So I'm gonna have to love you and leave you, people. Oh, Matthew okay. McCann, hey ho. Hey ho. Okay. This was 63. Tomorrow will be 64. See you then.
With the kids, and I've got 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet.